Hello and welcome to the CIA Corner here on TAP TV. My name is Obed Jerry, your host for today. And yes, you know what we do here on the CIA, where we bring to you top trending commentaries, investigations, and in-depth analysis on topical issues, making rounds on the papers, Nigerian stories, our local stories, and international story, depending on which one we want to deliberate on. Well, you out there can also be a part of this show. If we discuss anything here and you have a counter opinion or you have a suggestion, anything to add to it, please do not hesitate to drop your comments in our comment section. Of course, we'd like to interact with you. And if you are yet to subscribe to our channel, please subscribe, turn on your notification button, and connect with us across all our social media platforms so that when we draw videos like this, you get to receive our notifications. Well, today here on the CIA, we'll be looking into this Labour Congress and the federal government issue yet again. The federal government proposed 48,000 naira as minimum wage as against the 615,000 naira proposed by the NLC. The federal government proposed 48,000 naira, and unlike the 30,000 naira they proposed, while the NLC is coming to say this is like an insult to them and they do not accept this low amount as minimum wage for concerned Nigerians. Well, let's go for a very quick break. When we come back, we look into the story properly. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back from that very quick break. We could see the stories about this NLC and federal government saga about minimum wage. And this has been thriving for over a year now, since last year. The NLC has been proposing several amounts and they want the federal government to increase the minimum wage from 30,000 naira that it has been for years past. That things in Nigeria has gotten worse. The economy has been hard and things has been very tight. The cost of living has increased, rent, transportation, feeding, and all whatnot in the country. And that standing on that same 30,000 naira that we've been having from when petrol used to be around 100, 200 naira, we are still receiving that same amount as minimum wage, and it's not supposed to be so. And many persons were backing the NLC that, okay, this is a very good one, this is a very good start. Like I said in the former time, that the NLC has Nigerians at heart, and they want us for the betterment of the average Nigerian. Okay, last year, after all said and done, after everything, the federal government came out to say, okay, they are topping the minimum wage, but they are not increasing this minimum wage to a very high level, maybe because they want it to be an amount that they would not be running into debt, that they will not be owing these workers, so that when it gets to every end of the month, they would be paid easily, effortlessly. Now, the NLC then deliberated again and was saying that the minimum wage needs to come up, and they should the federal government should propose a specific amount. That as they proposed the 30,000 naira, they should propose a specific amount. Then they were not pointing out a specific figure for as suggestion to the federal government. Yet the federal government did not want to increase it because they were saying the cost of living is high, economy is tight at the moment, and we are facing financial crisis. We could see how the naira is losing to the dollar in the forex market, and how many persons are holding the naira while some others are holding the dollar. This is bringing financial crisis in the country. The federal government excuse is understandable also, but the NLC, we could see NLC in last month, being the month of April, they came out to say, okay, that enough is enough. They are proposing 615,000 naira as minimum wage that the federal government should be paying every worker. That is, after the end of the month, every worker should be credited 615,000 naira. And like I said, that this amount is very mind-blowing, and it is funny knowing the kind of economy that we are at the moment, knowing how the situation is. For when they proposed this amount, I was wondering, maybe this amount is maybe for a year, maybe an annual payment, maybe they calculated for every month, because if you divide 615,000 naira for 12 months, it will amount to 50,000 naira plus. And the federal government is not even accepting to even propose 15,000 naira as minimum wage. The NLC president, Joe Ajero, was saying that if you divide the expenditures for this 615,000 naira for a family of 6, the transport system, their school fees, their feedings, and all other house rent and all other expenditures that they would carry out monthly, we see that everything will amount over 615,000, but he summed it to the nearest lowest minimum, that is 615,000 naira. But the federal government is not even accepting that amount at all. Some persons were saying, netizens were saying that some government parastatals, some low senators, some House of Rep members are not even paid that money monthly. How come an average Nigerian would be paid 615,000 naira? While some other persons were saying the average Nigerian has the same value, has the same level, and has the same rights as the government parastatal. The difference is just the positions that they are holding. Yes, this is also understandable, but the amount, like I said before, that the amount is a very mind-blowing one. It is too much for us in the country. And it is funny to say that, truth be told, rarely would it ever happen in Nigeria where a single worker will be paid 615,000 naira as minimum wage, aside maybe the allowances and maybe any other gains that the person would get, maybe stipends or even every other benefits affiliated to their work positions. Because see how the country is, see how things are going in the country. So it is close to not being possible in our country, Nigeria. The federal government then came out to say, okay, they are proposing, unlike the 30,000 naira, they are proposing 48,000 naira. And then organized private sector is coming out to say, okay, they too are proposing 54,000 naira for private workers, while the federal government is proposing 48,000 naira for government workers. So if you are under the government office, you'll be paid 48,000 naira. Then if you are under the private office, you'll be paid 54,000 naira. Although some of these OPS members are saying that their different private organizations under their organization or that they are under their Congress, that some of them are paying as high as 70-something thousand naira to their staffs, and that's this is what they should set as minimum wages, 54,000 naira, and federal government 48,000 naira as minimum wage. The NLC then comes out again to say this is a slap to their face. This is an insult. That see the amount that they propose, that the amount that the federal government proposes also does not even tally, does not even come close to the amount that was proposed. That if you look at 615,000 naira and you deduct these 48,000 naira that the federal government proposes, it's over 500,000 naira that they discarded away and they are not accepting it. Then they are holding their ground that the federal government should also go on to meet up to their demand or face what they have to bring to them on May 31st. The gospel truth that the NLC ought to know is there is no way the federal government would pay 615,000 naira for minimum wage. Why not plead with them to pay at least 80 to 100,000 naira for a start? Then as time goes on, you deliberate on another amount. With time, they would keep growing, and from then the minimum wage will keep increasing, other than just from 30,000 skyrocketing it to 615,000 naira because of the economy is hard, or because of the crisis, and because of the challenges that every average Nigerian is facing. Well, this is where we draw our curtains for today, and I would like to know your thoughts. I would like to see your reactions as regard this headline. Please drop your comments in the comment section, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel if you are yet to subscribe, and turn on your notification button. Also connect with us across all our social media platforms. My name is Ubed Jerry, your co-host for today, and this has been the CIA Corner here on TAP TV. I'll see you next time.